So, can deer be managed in different ways? The answer is yeah, it can be, but are some ways better than others? Think about it. So today I'm going to talk to you about how Kansas Wildlife and Parks and Corps of Engineers manages Clinton Lake in two different ways. I want you to think about: does this put a strain on the deer? Does it make them want to move? We'll find out. So Clinton Lake is in Douglas County, in the north side of it, about 3 miles west of Lawrence, Kansas. It is about the whole lake and property consists of about 22,000 acres. About 8,300 acres is leased out to Kansas Wildlife and Parks for their own management. That does include a refuge. That does include a bunch of marshes for ducks and waterfowl management. Also, they do consist of a lot of just timber and grass fields. So these two agencies manage their properties in different ways, such as Sericea Lespedeza management and deer tag management. These two agencies do manage in opposite ends of the spectrum. Looking into Sericea Lespedeza management, Sericea Lespedeza is a very invasive species of plant. It holds approximately 1,400 seeds per plant. So that's like one stem of grass. One stem of grass holds 1,400 seeds. So that can reproduce 1,400 plants. Imagine a field of that. You're talking millions. Okay? So managing Sericea Lespedeza, there's kind of a couple different methods that are known. There's prescribed fire, there's spraying, and there's mowing. Sericea reacts very good to spraying and prescribed fire. Prescribed fire, it can be used in two different ways. It can be used as a spring burn to help better diversity of plant species, and it also can be used in summer burning to help with invasive species. So how those vary is summer burning when you're already into the growing season of vegetation. And when you light a fire, it burns off that current plant growth and exposes all those 1,400 seeds that those plants produced, and it allows those seeds to germinate. Well, when they germinate that late in the year or late in the summer, by the time they actually get to a decent growing stage, the frost is already here, and the frost will actually end up killing them before they can produce more seeds. So you're looking at a high consumption rate of seeds. So we don't have a bunch of residual seeds laying around in this field to keep on fighting year after year. So that's how summer burning versus spring burning affects Sericea management, which we do see. We see Corps of Engineers managing their properties in Sericea. That you'll see them do a lot of summer burning. Mowing does the same effect. So you just keep mowing and mowing and mowing before they can produce seeds. When you cut the plant that short, it exposes sunlight to the dirt and water, which will cause germination, and you're just consuming the residual seeds on the ground. Well, that's how Corps of Engineers manage. So they do a bunch of summer burning and mowing. While Kansas Wildlife and Parks, you'll see they manage their properties more of a preservation kind of stage versus conservation like the Corps of Engineers does. I'm going to reference them as Corps. Kansas Wildlife and Parks does more of a rotation of summer and spring burning, while they do an annual every year spring season. So from May to August, they're out spraying this invasive species, so that can get pretty costly. But that does provide a better habitat for the wildlife in the near area. So you're kind of comparing these two. Sericea Lespedeza, I don't know if any of you have walked through it. It is terrible to walk through. It's very, very labor intensive. Like it will wind you. It will make you hard to breathe. It's like hiking up a mountain, but you're walking flat. So deer don't like it. Deer will actually move away from it. They'll they'll walk a mile to get around it. They'll walk a mile in timber, so they don't have to walk through the Ceresia. So it does manage deer different. I'd rather walk through a grass field, just like a deer would. You know, deer always take the easiest route. That's just like us. They're pretty lazy. But looking into the tag side and getting out of the vegetation side, we are going to see Douglas County is part of what they can classify as DMU 19. DMU 19 stands for Deer Management Unit 19. That is a combination of units, combination of 2 units that was implemented in 2017, and that is due to a high deer population in this area. Well, Kansas Wildlife and Parks created this unit for private land usage, but this public land does fall within it. So what that does is that allows all residents 1 additional tag for that unit to help with consumption of deer in that area. But Kansas Wildlife and Parks does not allow that tag, while the Corps does. You're like, well, they're only across the road from each other. What's the difference? Exactly. So you have the Corps of Engineers, you have the roadway, and you have Kansas Wildlife and Parks. Well, after regular season opens, DMU 19 opens. Well, you're like, why does that even matter? That doesn't matter. Actually, it does. So private land gets way less pressure than public land. So deer will want to move to private land more than public land because they don't like to be around humans. But so DMU 19 was made to help with that population of private land, but this public land, of course, falls within it. So Kansas Wildlife and Parks actually does a deer population check each year, spotlight survey as they call it, to see what the current herd population is in the area. Well, within the last 3 years since it's been implemented, the deer population unit has been too low to allow the DMU 19 tag to work on their public land. But the Corps of Engineers actually does allow that tag on their property. But they're right across the road from each other, right? Yeah, they are. So they're talking about the same deer. But as I said earlier, the Corps of Engineers' main focus is water. So they don't really care about the land. They care about the land, but that's not their main focus. The deer aren't their main focus. So they just kind of took Kansas Wildlife and Parks' recommendation for private landowners to allow this tag on their property. Well, the Corps is okay. We'll just go ahead and let it on ours. We don't really care. So what that does is that puts a strain on the whitetail in that area. The deer over here on this side of the road and the deer over here on this side of the road, well, guess what? They go back and forth. We're talking about the same deer here, people. So all this hunting pressure, and now an additional full month of hunting pressure, we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot here, people. So what you're doing is you have these 2 deer, which are actually the same deer, and that additional hunting pressure will actually make them migrate. So that's why you always hear the conspiracies, don't hunt public land because you won't see deer. Well, when you have these 2 agencies managing the same land, they're sitting there butting heads the whole time. Well, we want to implement this rule. Well, we want to implement this rule. Well, the population can't hold it. Well, I don't really care. That's not my main focus. That's your guys' focus. I'm just following your rules. So between the habitat management and the difference in tag management, there's 2 kind of strains. You're gonna see the Corps of Engineers side kind of taking less effect, but allowing better recreation for longer term, which puts a harder strain on the whitetail, while you have Kansas Wildlife and Parks focusing on better habitat and better deer population. So you're going to see a migration from the Corp side over in the Kansas Wildlife and Parks side, although that's a road away. But you will overall, your management processes do have to link up, and working with, when we're out in the field, we have to make sure when we're with two agencies, we need to make sure that we are working together and that we are trying to provide the best recreational aspect and best habitat we can for future generations. So we covered the two main variances between the two agencies at Clinton Wildlife and Parks, at Clinton Lake, and the different ways they manage, which is Sericea management and also deer management. So I hope you guys can take this and put this into effect soon. Thank you.